Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and the wait is almost over. Omens of Destruction is the brand new DLC for Total War Warhammer 3 featuring the Ogre Kingdoms, Khorne, and the Greenskins. So we've got a little bit of information to talk about today, including the full roster and some campaign mechanics. Let's have a little bit of fun, and then afterwards we'll do the whole breakdown of the trailer and so on. So this DLC is releasing on the 12th of December and will be available just like Thrones of Decay was, where you'll also have the option to buy all three of them together or individually if you just prefer one faction. Alongside that, we've got Update 6.0 and some free content with Arbaal the Undefeated. But yeah, it's not too long now. It's just about 2 weeks and a little bit, and that's it. So we can talk about a few mechanics as we were supplied with the blog. Skulltaker, the Hero Slayer. So, Khorne's immortal champion and the greatest of all bloodletters, Skulltaker is ever seeking worthy skulls for his master. Scanning the battlefield for the enemy's greatest champions, he bellows his challenge before moving in to end yet another storied life. We got some campaign features. First up is the Cloak of Skulls. Skulltaker must seek out and defeat powerful enemy lords across the heroic pantheon of the Warhammer world. With each skull added to his cloak, powerful new abilities and traits can be earned and upgraded. Battle playstyle. A force of demonic destruction, Skulltaker excels at hunting down and dueling enemy lords before cleaving through the ranks with his two-handed Slayer sword. His Cloak of Skulls passive ability grants increasing spell resistance and ward saves the more kills he gets, so very expected from a Khornate warrior. Now this is where things get very, very interesting. We've got the roster. First up, we know that Skull Bloodrath and Syla Angfingrim are, which they've actually got a spelling mistake there. It's supposed to be a C, not a K. Those are the legendary heroes. But when we go into the roster, we have the Bloodspeaker. This is the Lord option. The Slaughter Brute. Bloodbeasts. So this is very, very interesting. So Bloodbeasts were actually a spawn unit from way back in the day. They also featured in the MMO Age of Reckoning, so it's good to see them back. They have gotten a slight redesign though, and we'll see that when we start talking about the trailer. Wrathmongers, Skull Reapers, and finally Khorne. So we've got a very big roster here. The majority of the additions here seem to be quite unique. Obviously, keep in mind that the Khorne are going to be slightly reskinned, but we've seen how they look, and they actually look like their old models, so that's quite important there. Then we've got Gorbad Ironclaw, the Brutal Unifier. This is for the Orcs and Goblins. One of the most infamous of all Orc war bosses, Gorbad Ironclaw knows but one language, and that is war. Unique amongst his race due to his rare mix of brain and brawn, he has become an inspiration amongst his kind for invasions done proper. So his campaign feature, The Plan. A tenacious tactician, Gorbad must experiment with his unique battle strategies for his armies to employ, granting a deadly mixture of exotic battle bonuses and army compositions that can overcome any challenges. So the idea is you're going to be a tactician. This is what we're known about this character, because he almost went all the way up to Altdorf essentially. So the battle playstyle is as follows. Riding into battle atop his fierce warboar Nala, Gorbad penetrates the enemy lines with devastating charges before engaging in close combat with his mighty axe, Morgulur the Mangler. His Great Leader ability, which activates when troops are in his vicinity, grants increased melee attack and defense. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the idea of that. I wonder what his, the faction effects and lord effects are going to be. Maybe make troops a bit cheaper. Maybe just some faction-wide bonuses to make everyone nice and proper killy. Now, this is the one that I've been the most excited for because, yeah, we finally got the roster for the Greenskins. So we got the legendary hero, Snagler Grubspit, the Savage Orc Great Shaman. This is the Lord option for if you want like the Big War and so on. The Night Goblin Big Boss for your hero. It's not too bad. Black Orcs with Axe and Shield, and this is where it gets very exciting. Mangler Squigs. Colossal Squigs. Dude, I am such a big fan of Squigs. Now we're going to be seeing 2 big Squigs come in. Well, technically 3 because Manglers usually come in groups of 2. But yeah, this is going to be really, really fun. Then we've got the Arachnarok Flinger. So it looks like there was some legitimacy to that previous leak where, yeah, it's going to be an Arachnarok, but it's just going to have a catapult attached to it. And then lastly, the bolt thrower, which is something that a lot of people have been asking for because it is an iconic old school tabletop mini. I know a lot of people have been using them now in Warhammer the Old World, so it's nice to see it here too. You know, it's one of those things that you would have expected from the very beginning in Warhammer 1. And now finally we have the mercenary, Mr. Maneater. I'm going to avoid his name, mostly because, you know, demonetization and so on, because YouTube has a very weird system. But, yeah, he is the reason why Maneaters exist, essentially. The Maneaters name themselves after him, which is why he's so well known. So campaign features. Ever keen to lace his pocket with gold, he helps clients throughout the Warhammer world settle their warring disputes by taking on all wars they're involved in and conducting hostile actions against their enemies for handsome rewards. So essentially, you're going to be a mercenary. This is your mercenary campaign. I kind of like the idea of that, to be honest, because, you know, he is the Maneater. They are mercenaries. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays. Playstyle. Anti-infantry blender. He tears through the hordes of infantry with the aid of a barbaric weaponry. His globe-trotting nature also gives him access to a variety of exotic abilities, such as Deadeye, which allows him to take a powerful shot from his pistol, causing huge damage. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Now, we've got new characters and units. Bragg the Gutsman is the legendary hero. Everyone was pretty much expecting that. It's one of those things where, I mean, there was no other option, right? The Ogre Paymaster is your Lord option. The Bruiser finally becomes a hero option, which means that you finally have a melee hero option, meaning that you can take your Spellcaster Lords or your Paymaster Lords over the standard Tyrant. We've got his specific Man-Eaters, which is pretty interesting. I wasn't actually expecting that. And then the rest of the stuff we already knew was coming. The Piggyback Riders, the Blood Vultures, the Yetis, and the Thunder Tusks. Pretty much at this point, Ogres are done. I don't think there's anything really missing for them, barring just the characters like Gark. But yeah, it's pretty good. It looks like they are pretty much solved. I'm thinking at this point that Okoi must be happy, but yeah, let's continue. Lastly, Arbaal the Undefeated is your FLC Legendary Lord, counting as the 100th. And yeah, he looks pretty cool. It's a great redesign. Keep in mind that the last time we've seen Arbaal on the tabletop, it was such an old miniature. He is, of course, mounted upon his doggy, so that's pretty cool. He looks great. I think all the character designs have been quite interesting, to be honest. So it's been 6 months since we've seen the DLC. Hopefully it won't be too long until we start seeing some information from Creative Assembly, and I can start showcasing different things, which, at the time of recording this video, I do not have access just yet, but I can tell you my planned embargoes, as Creative Assembly has shared the dates with me. As from Wednesday the 4th, I have my battle embargo. This is a little bit different, as you might notice. The battle stuff comes in first, but this means that I can now show you all the new units and all the new characters in battle. That means I can't show you the campaign just yet, but I can show you how they look, what their stats are, and all their different battle abilities, which will be quite cool to show. This also means that in the next embargo, which is on the 6th, that's on the Friday, it's just literally 2 days, I'll be able to showcase Arbaal the Undefeated and any updates/reworks that are implemented in 6.0. This also is a different change, as it used to be FLC first and then the battle stuff, but this works out better because this means that I won't have to turn off my screen when I'm fighting something or auto-resolving something from a DLC. I can show you straight off the bat. The next embargo is on the 8th, and that's when I can actually showcase Gorbad, Skulltaker, and Mr. Maneater, so we can have full campaign breakdowns. It's going to be a long one, I think, because obviously these are 3 brand new playable factions. And the last embargo that I do have is on the 10th. On the 10th itself, I'll be able to give my reviews and impressions. As per usual, there'll be around 2 to 4 videos a day, depending on what there is and so on. We should be getting access soon at the time of recording this video, hopefully, and I'll be able to do my usual content plan, so there's going to be a lot. There'll be streams also on twitch.tv/thegreatbookofgrudges, so I do suggest popping down. But I did want to make sure that you guys knew about this, because maybe there's content that you're more interested over others, or you just want to know exactly when stuff is dropping. So what is the new content overall? Well, it's rather simple. 3 legendary lords, 4 legendary heroes. Keep in mind that one faction is not getting a generic hero. 5 lords and heroes mixed up, 15 battle units, 9 regiments of renown, and new gameplay mechanics and features. Overall, this is pretty much on the same number, more or less, to the Thrones of Decay DLC. Obviously, you'll be seeing how worth it is or not when you can actually see the showcases. I imagine that Creative Assembly will also do some showcases before the content creators start dropping their videos. There are some fancy screenshots which will be on screen right now, and yeah, you'll be able to get a proper look at the characters and some of the units. There's more in the trailer, but the best thing here is obviously we'd not been able to see Gorbad that much. They were just the concept art, so everyone was a little bit worried that the Greenskin stuff wasn't done, but everything looks pretty damn sweet. I'm super excited for this. Obviously, the Colossal Squig in the background for the Gorbad stuff. While you're at it, what faction are you most excited about the most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But before anything, we are going to look at the trailer because there is a bunch of stuff in this trailer. It's a bit different to the normal styling, that's for sure. But I want to stop at anything of interest and talk about certain unit design, all the usual stuff. And yeah, let's just jump right in.
Steal my glory! We done all the hard work!
So not a lot of UI changes for the Greenskins at least. Everything looks kind of standard for Gorbad. This is fairly early in, you know, turn 57. I imagine he starts fairly close to the Empire though, because it kind of makes sense considering that, yeah, he's here at turn 57 going to Averheim. It's a little bit of a throwback to Gorbad's big war going up to Altdorf.
Work for him! Stick to the plan! And we'll crush him!
Alright, so here's where we can stop, because I know some people are going to say that's a Regiment of Renown. No, I have been told by Creative Assembly that the Ragnarok is going to be blue. That's the one with the flinger. So it's kind of cool. A bit different styling. A lot of people actually did paint them blue, interestingly enough, so it's nice to see. Snagler looks great. He's not too big, but not too small. And a nicely varied army for Gorbad. Okay, I had to stop here. So Mangler Squigs fights exactly how you expect them to, where they move around kind of like Fanatics, but not really, because you're going to be able to control them, and they're going to be able to do a decent amount of damage. I love this. I can't imagine that this was easy to animate whatsoever. I'm really excited though, because, oh my god, Mangler Squigs are just the funniest freaking Greenskins ever.
Skulls are mine!
So here's another big thing. We've got our good friend Skulltaker here, turn 5, and he's in Lustria. So it looks like he's going to start in Lustria, going to fight Alberic, I think, over there at the Altar of the Horned Rat. Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense. A little bit of diversity in terms of starting locations. Seeing as Skarbrand is smack in the middle of the map with the Badlands, it makes sense to put him on a completely different continent. Yeah, and it's going to be different, that's for sure. Also, this works well because, you know, Khorne factions deal with fighting quite heavily. Lustria is kind of like too packed in, so it's going to make it easy for you to move around and keep in constant warfare.
My power grows! Khorne shall have his tribute, but the worthy are mine to reap!
It's not the best screenshot at all, but we can see the Skull Reapers, which is a good thing. You know, the idea here is they're supposed to look like the End Times units. They do. And we've been able to see the big boy with a Slaughter Brute. It's so weird. We're finally getting End Times troops. Like actual, not like reskinned troops. These are actual End Time troops. I'm really excited. Dude, Scar is freaking massive. I mean, I was expecting that. He used to be on a 40mm base, but yeah. Wow.
We're gonna make a killing here!
Okay, we've got some big UI changes here for the Man-Eater faction, and yeah, turn 51, we are in Norska. Pretty interesting. I guess he's going to be moving around. We see markers there, so I guess the contract system is going to work very similar to like a war? No. No, this looks like you might be filling it up by doing damage, and those are going to be like markers. Okay, yeah, so like this Doomkeep settlement is worth 36, and the plane there is 22. That's pretty cool.
If you're after gold, glory, or exotic needs, I'm your man.
I know this might be silly, but I think this might be one of my favorite shots, because... yeah, I don't know, man. Ogre stuff has always been really cool. The Paymaster looks incredible. Bragg looks phenomenal. And I think just the Yetis, I've got a real soft spot for them because of the tabletop. So I'm just really happy that they're here. I'm really, really happy. It's just, it's nice to see the ogres getting the attention that they deserve. They were kind of shafted for the release of Warhammer 3. Now it looks like they're going to get their time. Okay, so I was wrong about one thing. The Bloodbeasts are not in the trailer unless I'm really blind. But yeah, you can see him here fighting against Bragg, the Gutsman. It's a very similar design to that of Sylar, so I wonder what they're going to do there. Obviously, before they looked more like tank spawn. You know, they were fairly tanky in the MMO, so it's nice to see them redesigned. Obviously, it's going to take some getting used to, but it's interesting that Games Workshop has stepped in here. Remember that redesigns of troops or anything like that has to be approved by Games Workshop. This is something that we know very much since a long time ago now, actually. But yeah, it's exciting. It means that we might be able to see the Fireworms and all the others in the future, maybe in the End Times DLC if that ends up happening, but let's leave the speculation out for that. So that's all the information I have for you today. It's a good thing that the leak was kind of wrong in certain cases. It's kind of right in others, but we have gotten some pretty excited units. There's going to be a lot to come. There's going to be a lot of information, so don't you worry, I'm going to have you covered. Remember, once again, I'm just going to do a quick shout out here that I have partnered up with Instant Gaming, and when their page goes live, you'll be able to wishlist it. So if you decide that you do want the DLC after you've been shown enough and seen reviews and so on, then you can buy it. Keep in mind that there's no pre-orders, I think. Well, in this case, it's another bundle. Bundles aren't allowed to be pre-orderable until it's actually released. So you can actually save some cash there and wait until you see everything for it to make an informed decision, because that's still very, very important. And as a final note, after many requests during Thrones of Decay and so on, I have started a brand new channel, which is going to be for VODs and secondary videos that don't really fit with the main Great Book of Grudges stuff. So it's called More Great Book of Grudges, and it'll be linked in the description below. So when I start streaming and when I start doing all these things, the VODs will go there, essentially, right? It's just in case you want to see more content, but you don't have time or you don't have a Twitch account and all the usual stuff. But with all that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you excited? Are you hyped up for the DLC? Let me know your thoughts and let's have a bit of a discussion. I'll see you all again very soon. I will be live today, about an hour after this goes up, so we can talk on stream and talk about the usual stuff. See ya, everyone. Have a good one.